Hi girls, I am talking to you today about what I would do if I was starting my fat loss journey now in my mid-40s. Now this is for you if you feel overwhelmed or confused or not sure where to start. If either what has always worked for you is no longer working anymore, or you're struggling with your weight for the first time in your life and it feels like your body is a foreign object or your metabolism has somehow changed overnight and you just have no idea why or where to start. So first of all, I want to let you know you're not alone. 99% of the women I coach are in one of those two camps. Either what once worked does not work anymore, or they've all of a sudden, after never struggling with their weight, all of a sudden, just seemingly overnight, they are now struggling with their weight. So if this has been an issue or a concern for a little while, then you might have started to do some research. You might be listening to some experts in the space or follow some of the influencers online, or you might have read some books on the topic. And now, while I always say knowledge is power, information overload is the opposite, because when you've got too much information, you're often not sure where to turn. So, things like, should I be fasting or not? Is cardio good or bad? Should I track calories or is that pointless? Should I lift heavy? What does that even mean? How heavy should I be lifting? Is HIIT, is high intensity interval training good or bad? All of these questions that can come up and cause more confusion than ever at this time of our lives. So I'd love you to let me know, first of all, in the comments, is there anything that you're confused about, that you've seen conflicting advice about online and you're not sure where the truth lies? So let me know, first of all, if there is anything that you're not sure about that you'd love to know the answer to, because you definitely can end up more confused than ever. And I speak to women all the time who are just like, ooh, I don't know what to do. Like, I've got all this information and now I don't know what to do with it because there are all these conflicting bits of information out there. So when you're overwhelmed, what usually happens is you do nothing. That paralysis by analysis, right? You're too busy working out what's the best thing to do and you end up doing nothing. It's my whole purpose in starting this Facebook group and my YouTube channel is to simplify this for women over 40, to simplify fat loss, because who has the bandwidth, when you're a woman in your 40s or 50s or 60s, whatever, who has the bandwidth to try to sift through all of this information and figure out who's right, who's wrong, where's the evidence, what's BS. So you can think of me as your BS filter. There's a lot of people out there who are experts, who are talking out their asses. So I want to be your BS filter. Today, I'm going to keep it really simple and evidence-based, of course. I'm going to share with you what I would do with the 15 years of knowledge and experience I've had coaching women if I was starting down this road. Now, I don't struggle with my weight or my body composition now. I still definitely have to work at it. It's not easy, but it's not a struggle. It's not a mystery anymore. And some of you will know this, but many of you won't. When I was in my 20s, before I retrained as a fitness coach and then later a nutrition coach, I did really struggle with my weight for years. I tried all of the diets. I tried low fat, I did Weight Watchers, I tried fasting, I did the cabbage soup diet, all of the things you can imagine. I did them all. I took up running, all of them. It took years, some of you might relate to this. It took years of trying to find the shortcut before I finally started to figure it out. And then I was able to lose the weight and get slim. But it wasn't until about 10 years ago in my mid-30s that I actually, when I was slim then, but I wanted to change my body composition. I didn't have any visible muscle. That was when I really cracked the code. And I'm very grateful for my weight struggles in my 20s because it led me down this path, and it means that you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. I can keep it really simple, evidence-based, and show you the actual way to get the results that you want to get. So today I'm going to give you 3 key steps that I would take now if I was just starting out. Now, just an FYI, this is not an exhaustive plan. This is not all the things that, if I were to give you all the tools, that's all you would ever need in order to change your body composition, lose body fat and keep it off. But it's certainly the big rocks, the 3 kind of main things that are going to have the biggest bang for your buck so that you can start to see results sooner rather than later. In my online coaching program, the Goddess Project, I do take my clients through all of the steps, the step-by-step process of what to do, how to do it, and help them do it, what they need to focus on each step of the way. But today I want to just take you through these 3 big rocks. And honestly, this is what I would do if I was starting out today. Number 1, let's start with food. eat a high protein breakfast. If you do nothing else, if you change nothing else about your food, I want you to start eating a high protein breakfast. Now, I know this was the case with me in my 20s and into my 30s, that my breakfast was very carb based. It was toast or cereal or something along those lines, a pastry or something, and coffee, of course. It was very carbohydrate based, and we need to switch that when we're in our 40s and beyond to start the day with a really good hit of protein. Now, you've probably heard this before. It's probably not news to you, but it is so key, and it's one of the biggest game changers when it comes to maintaining a level blood sugar, so you're not going to get cravings. You're going to feel fuller through the whole day rather than have these ups and downs of energy and cravings through the day. You're going to set yourself up for the rest of the day with breakfast. More energy, more sustained energy overall as well, really important. Now, you can worry about the other meals later. So if you're worried about the big picture of I'm not getting all the protein I need to in the day and I've got to change X, Y, and Z, just start out with breakfast. And yes, that means no fasting. Now, most of you will know how I feel about fasting. Just as a little aside, it's not ideal for women over 40. I've seen it described as possibly the worst diet you could have in perimenopause. So let's just put that to the side. We don't need to fast, and it's certainly not an optimal way to eat when we're over 40. So I want you to start the day with at least 30 grams, if not more, of protein. If you don't know where to start with that, comment protein and I will send you my protein cheat sheet, which will give you some ideas for breakfast and what 30 grams of protein looks like, so you can start to figure that out for yourself. But another really easy hack, go into ChatGPT and type in, give me some breakfast ideas that have at least 30 grams of protein, and put in the foods that you like and don't like. It will spit out at least a dozen breakfast ideas that you can then play around with and start to incorporate in your day. It's going to make a massive difference. Try it and let me know how you go. Number 2, let's touch on movement here. Now, I'm not just talking about exercise, because I think a lot of people anyway, are worried about whether they should do cardio or not, whether they should do high intensity exercise or strength training or etc., etc. We're trying to kind of optimize this training program when at the moment we're really sedentary. So if you're doing less than, say, 8,000 steps a day now, your number one goal is to increase your daily movement. So that is going to have the biggest bang for your buck from a fat loss perspective, not to mention a health perspective. But that non-exercise activity thermogenesis, you might have seen it described as, the acronym is NEAT. That is super key in terms of our energy output. That has a much bigger impact on fat loss than our intentional exercise. So although yes, of course, I want you to be strength training and we can tackle that down the path, if fat loss is the main goal at the moment, we need to get you moving more. So if you're not doing 8 to 10,000 steps plus, then that's your goal to increase. And I'm not saying try to get to 8,000 overnight if you're currently doing 3,000. Work out ways to get more movement, incorporate more movement of any description into your day so we're moving more. So we're just working on those foundations first. If you can increase your movement by 10% a week, then before you know it, you're doing 8 to 10,000 steps. Fat loss is going to become a heck of a lot easier and also a lot simpler than trying to incorporate all new exercise regimes if you're not doing those at the moment. If you're already at 9,000-10,000 steps plus consistently and you're maxed out for time, you're like, I don't have any more time to do any more movement than I'm doing, then your next step would be to add/optimize the intentional training that you're doing. I've done lots of videos on these, so if you want to know what you should do when it comes to training and you're in that boat, just comment training and I'll send you to some of those videos there so you can work out what the next step is after that. Step 1 is definitely the movement. Number 3, you'll probably like this one. It's sleep. So I did a video on this last week. So if you haven't watched that and you know that sleep is really key for you at the moment, go back and watch it or just comment sleep and I'll tag you in it, because sleep impacts our energy in and our energy out. If you are sleep deprived, your hunger hormones are going to take a blow. So you're going to feel hungrier and it's going to be harder to feel full. So the energy in can be negatively impacted. You just want to eat all the time. And also if you're tired, then you're going to be moving less. So talking about that NEAT that we just spoke about in number 2, that's going to be down regulated because your body's just want to restore and get some energy back, right? So if your sleep is impacted, then that has got to be priority to improve that. Now, there's all sorts of ways we can improve our sleep in natural kind of ways. There's supplements, there's good sleep hygiene practices that I spoke about in depth last week. If you haven't seen that yet, just comment sleep and I'll send you the cheat sheet for that, because that is really key as well. As I said last week, of course, you can still lose body fat if you are sleep deprived, and it's a struggle. Like it's an awful feeling, and sometimes you feel like there's nothing you do is going to make a difference. But if we can just improve that by a little bit, week on week, month on month, that's going to make a difference to how easy it is for you to lose body fat in the long term. Not to mention have more energy, have a better mood, etc. So I've got cheat sheets for all of those. If you're struggling with any of them and you want more detail on how to implement them, just you can comment protein or sleep. When it comes to training and movement, I don't think you need a cheat sheet on that. Just move more, dance more, get up and from your desk, walk around, whatever it needs to be, just move more. And like I said, this is not meant to be an exhaustive plan from A to Z, but it's a fantastic place to start, and absolutely where I would start with these 3 key components if I was just starting out today. If 3 things feels overwhelming to you at the moment, pick out one. Like one step at a time is all we need to do to improve one component of our lifestyle in order to start seeing results and not feel so overwhelmed by all of this. Hopefully that was helpful to you. If you have any questions, comment on the video and I will come back and answer those. Thanks, girls. Bye.